history, well, it goes back to, it started in 1900, whenever the local recreation club decided that they would like more facilities around Castlerock to attract visitors, and they thought of a golf course. So they formed a committee and they leased land from the local estate, the Sir Harvey Bruce estate, and they got the land easily, and they built a 9-hole course. Now, that was 1900. 1901, they opened, the first match was played in the course then, and that started it. It ran on as a 9-hole course for 8 years. In 1908, they acquired more land and decided they would extend it to 18 holes. And they got the land from 2 local farmers, the Duggans, who still live out there. And they brought in Ben Sayers from Scotland to lay out an 18-hole course. And that was done in 1908, 1909. And in fact, they opened the 18-hole course. First match was played on it, first competition was played on it in 1909, June 1909.
Well, this course, which in those days, I'll tell you, was appreciated very, very much indeed, because this was one of the finest courses in Ireland. And all the good players, and mind you, we had good players in those days, and they couldn't get the iron shots in Portrush. Therefore, they came over here to Castlerock, and you got more iron shots here than they did at Royal Portrush. And to me, it was absolutely unbelievable. But in those days, well, the war started in 40 kind of style, and it kind of killed. But from my time in 28 up to 40, here in the summertime, you couldn't get onto this course here because you had all Scotch people here in the month of July, the whole of July. This course started really in May, June, July, August, September. You had those kind of 5 months. And you had everybody from Derry. They had a train came from Derry every day at 4 o'clock, and it left you in here, I think, at 4:30 or something like that. But it was unbelievable. But you had it was called the Golfers' Train, and it was unbelievable that these people coming from Derry, even Lisfannon, Strabane, Limavady, all around, all came here to Castlerock. And what a beautiful place it was. Beautiful place.
There was nothing done until 1948, when part of the course was required for buildings. Sir Harvey Bruce wanted to construct or build houses up around the Circular Road area, and wanted the holes that were in that area back. And he gave the land, the rest of the land that he had leased to the club, he gave it to the club. So with that loss of that land, they had to reconstruct several of the holes. But that was in 1948 then. they constructed what is practically the present-day course.
The course is, it's quite long. It's 6,700 yards. The course is pretty difficult. What makes it probably hard is the three holes are very long. Par threes are pretty long. You've only really one pitch hole of what one would call a pitch of about a middle iron. The rest of them are probably 2 irons or wood, which makes it difficult. The 4 holes are probably what makes the course are reasonably long. The shorter ones are pretty tight, and it makes the course pretty difficult to score on. The amateurs find it pretty difficult to score on. The average scores are 77 and that, so it's a pretty good course. It's a links course. It's pretty well set out, and there haven't been too many improvements really from the start here. 1 or 2 holes have been changed. The 8th mainly probably was the best change for the course, but still a pretty good test of golf.
The people of this country, they don't appreciate these places. Castlerock to me is one of the finest golf courses you have in Ireland. Absolutely magnificent. Beautiful seaside course, beautiful scenery. You have the lot here. But our people don't appreciate it. Don't appreciate it at all. I tell you, you can turn around, you have Castlerock, you have Portstewart, you have Royal Portrush, you have Portballintree, you have Ballycastle, you have the wee course at Glens of Antrim. Absolutely magnificent. And nobody in this world will tell me they have been in finer places. And for fresh air, you have it out there in barnfuls. And the scenery you have around the place, and there's not 2 holes out there alike. Every hole is different. And the people, if they want to learn and play the game of golf, that is the place to be, is out there to play it. I mean, there's nobody will flip themselves around that course. Nobody.
So what's the wind in your back? You'll probably find some of the holes will be a lot shorter than the normal are, whereas today with the wind, where's the wind going today? You'll probably find that when you turn it to 6th, it'll be playing a few clubs longer, and possibly 7 and 12 wouldn't be reachable today. 15th would be good, 3 good shots, and 17th we probably wouldn't get up either because of the wind into your face.
And the tee to green shot on the 9th?
Tee to green shot on the 9th, probably with the tee at the front. Normally for me it would probably be around 6 iron, maybe today it could be 3, 4 iron.
Yes.
Maybe more, depending if the wind's stronger it could be into woods.
In great condition even in the winter time. It's the only course you can play with snow on the ground, because it doesn't lie here. We're very good living in this part of the country, and the snow doesn't seem to lie.
I think when you start to play golf in a course but Castlerock, you have more room on the right hand side, and all beginners are usually slicers. Anybody starts to play golf usually slices the ball. So my own opinion, if I started in Rathmore or any other course where you had no way to bound on the right, you would strike the ball, you would try hitting the ball a lot harder, but out here you're feared to have a go at it in case you're always trying to steal the ball the first 5 holes. And over the years, even with the Black Bush and all the open weeks, Castlerock has never been destroyed. Nobody's ever really tore it apart.
Are you? Past captain of this club. If there's one aspect of Castlerock Golf Club that's important to you, what would it be?
Well, the fellowship, I suppose. I'd say the structure of the course, which is one of the best that we have locally, or anywhere for that matter. But I think really the friendship that exists between not only the club members, but the fellowship between the local clubs as well, and throughout the North Coast.
Oh, the members. So that's getting good blokes to play along with. So that's the most important. So that's.
To you is the most important aspect of this club?
Oh my Jesus.
That definitely is.
Haven't a clue.
And some years ago, 73 or something, that time we played a senior cup qualifying here. We had the best players in Northern Ireland at that time, and the best score on it was 73. There was 2 74s, a 75, and all the rest of the scores were 76 and more. Now at that time there's probably 100 and odd players played in that, so it made the scoring for the top amateurs pretty difficult. That time the leading scorer was a fellow Brian Cooley, who at the fourth hole, which is a long three without a bounds each side, he hooked his ball into the bunker on the left. He then proceeded to rib his ball out of the bunker and over the railway lines, hit the telegraph pole and came back just into play. Now, the ball was up against the wire. He couldn't actually play it, so he had to chop it, standing and practically in front of the ball and chopping down. The ball then went into the hole for a 3, and he led the qualifying with 73. So it should have been 83, maybe. And
the fourth, the leg of mutton, this famous hole that has the outer bounce to the left and the right.
That's right.
Can you tell me from memory your experience of people who played it in the storm?
I have played that hole in all conditions. I've played it with a 5-iron. I've played it really with a 6-iron. And I've played it with a 3-wood. And I tell you, when you get a bit of a draft against you at that hole, and you have to play in a full 2-iron or a 3-wood, I tell you, it's a different kettle of fish. It's one of the greatest short holes I think we have in golf. And you have what would you call it, the Londonderry Express coming up there, you know, either coming up or going down, which is absolutely wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
The greens, I was out playing yesterday and the greens were really beautiful, and didn't putt all that well, but hopefully it'll be better today.
People say they're the finest greens in Europe all the year round.
Certainly are, as far as I'm concerned anyway.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any better.
Which do you think is the most difficult green on the course?
I would say the 8th.
The armchair.
Yes.
Wrong book.
To approach top. Yes, to approach top.
Yeah.
Because if you come in, if you're too much to the right,
yes,
you're hitting across and it slopes away from you. If you're short at all, down she goes into the valley.
And when we change from the summer card to the winter card, and
yes,
we reorganise all the stroke index,
yes,
and you still see the spine cop well up there,
yes,
how does that hole in particular play in summer as opposed to winter?
Well, it's a lot easier in the summer, really, because, as you know, here the ground gets very hard in the summertime, and you get an extra run, you know, once the ball, and you've left with a shorter shot and your second shot onto the green. But in the winter time, as you know, in the bit of one, even a cross one, that's a long approach shot.
It would have to be the greens. Summer, winter, no problems. All the credit to Bob here standing just behind you. And the bunkers, the work that he's carried out over the last few weeks in the bunkers, tremendous.
People have said that they're possibly the finest greens in Europe, generally all year round context.
Yeah, I would say any of the courses I've played in Britain, Ireland.
Yes.
So I've played in Portugal and all as well, of course. But they would certainly compete with the top.
Experience of playing in Peru, Arabia, Portugal, Norway, and 14 other countries around the globe, including the sands of Muscat and Oman. I would say undoubtedly this course has something that no other course has. Not only has it very, very fine greens, it has every aspect that a golfer would be very proud of, all thrown in together. It has the generosity of membership, has the camaraderie, it has the course, it has the weather and the good fortune.
I remember one summer we had the sun out here for about 6 weeks. Now, a lot of people would laugh at that, but we had it really out for 6 weeks. And the golf course burned up. All the courses were burned up. We came here to Castlerock, and you talk about a billiard table being green. Well, all those greens were as green as billiard tables. And we had a lad, Bobby. They used to caddy the boys here. But Bobby and that got the job here, I think, as greenkeeper and that. But these boys were out every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and watered the greens. They had such an interest in it. And this is what I say about the boys. Like in my day, we were caddies, but we had an interest in the game of golf, but we also had an interest in our golf course. And this course and that time I'm talking about, the greens and that were absolutely magnificent. And them boys were out there at 4 o'clock in the morning, had them watered. They were terrific.
And as you know, I've been secretary now for two years, moved across from Rathmore, Portrush. Friendship among the members, very good at Castlerock. I think one of the greatest things is that you can come to Castlerock not being fixed up and find that you'll always get a game of golf. And this doesn't happen in all clubs. There's a spirit about the club now which seemed to have been missing for a few years, but has now come back again. There's a very happy atmosphere among all members of the club.
Oh, I think it's character. All the holes in Castlerock are different compared to a lot of other courses where there's a lot of old flat holes and no. Everyone has a different approach. I think it's a difficult course. That's why I like it.
You're must study I'll answer that lot. From glen to glen and down the mountain. The summer's gone and all the flowers are down. More. Tis you must go, and I must hide. Be going.
If there's one aspect of Castlerock Golf Club, what is it?
Firstly, the course. We have one of the best courses in Northern Ireland. And the social life. We have very good social life in Castlerock. And a very good pro here in the pro shop. He looks after us all.
When you were captain, did it cost you a lot of money?
Not really, no. I enjoyed my year as captain. Very good year. And there's been a lot of improvement on the club since I was captain.
Yes.
And I must say things are going very well at the minute.
Well, it has always been a very family-orientated club, and we have always got a lot of enjoyment from it. And my daughter and my husband and I, the three of us, can come out together and have a good time, you know. And the people are all very sociable and very nice and friendly. And I think we have a very good ladies' branch at the minute. How long that'll be for, I don't know.
How strong are they?
Very strong at the minute. We used to have very few. It was a problem even making up enough people to run a competition. But now we've had no bother at all. This year's been very good. And over the past 5 years, I would say there's a lot more people, ladies, taking up golf.
Haven't a clue.
The jacket you're wearing tonight is rather special to you. The jacket you're wearing tonight is rather special to you.
It is very special because Sammy Boyd, that day we were up in Cookstown. I think you were there too, Graham. Coming home in the bus, Sammy said to me, he says, Jim, I'd like to put up a blazer for the Sunday Club. I said, that's all right, Sammy. You put up a blazer, pick your date, and I'll arrange it. And went on to win it, which I was very happy to do so. And I think I have been running the Sunday Club, Terry and I, together about, what, this last...
Too long?
Well, we're actually running it about maybe 12 years, at least. And, well, we have all the work to do, cards and get the prizes for Christmas, which is a good Sunday outing.
And after the money for 12 months.
We actually spent over £1,000 worth in prizes there tonight, as you can see. And I think everybody enjoys the Sunday Club. It's a club within a club, but it's well run.
First, I'll give out the Keith Lockery Cup, which was won by Noel Armstrong. Golfer of the Year. This is a surprise to the boy that's won it. He doesn't even know he's getting it. The Low Saxon was won by Mickey Brawley. Now, the High Saxon was won by the blind man himself, Stanley Talbot. come to Sammy Boyd's laser. This was very generous for Sammy. He put this